Sorry about that. I'm back. Um, Let me see. Okay, here we go. Okay, so where were we? Okay. Okay. She went down by law of the great creator. But these bones shall rise again. Again, what are we talking about? The Alpha and the Omega. Okay. We are growing to be a race more and more distinguished in virtue. Okay. So let's go, since this is the kind of channel that this is. Hmm, where did she go? Okay. So moral life and conduct. A particular moral excellence. Okay. Anglo French. Okay. Force. Okay. So a force. Okay. A strength. Okay. Vigor. We know this about the vigor of Christ. And then I told you guys about that Dark Crystal series that if you ain't watched it yet, is deep. And yes, they do use movies and things in order to subconsciously paralyze people. And they also use them now to ridicule or make fun of those who can see the truth in everything that they do, because all of these things are their tools. No matter what you think about it, is not there for your entertainment purposes only. They have an agenda with everything that they put out. And then those who can see, okay, who have eyes to see what's going on and who look deeper into things can see these parallel things that they do. And when you bring them forth, people don't want to believe it because they feel like, oh, you're saying this because of a movie. That's just crazy. But again, everything that you think you see and everything you think you know is not what it is. Okay. So again, I'm always looking for the higher purpose of something, regardless of what it is. Okay. That's how I look at people when I meet them, everything. Okay. So, and I don't judge. I'm just saying, I'm pointing things out. Okay. So, moral strength, qualities, abilities. Okay. Moral strength, higher character, goodness. So, here we go with the goodness. Okay, because we're already talking about, just like God was talking about in Genesis, making things good, and he saw it was good. Okay, when the lightness took over the darkness. So again, you better recognize and be aware of who you're worshiping, and why the condition of your people who worship this so-called Baptist Christian God more than anyone of what you're really looking at. Okay. If this is something I want to give my all to, I want to make sure. Okay. So the one thing that you'll do is when you bring these things up, you're already shunned. You can see it in Christians' eyes, in indoctrinated souls' eyes when you bring these things up, whether they feel like it resonates or not. They have been indoctrinated since birth. Some people, it's not even any need to even go there with them, because it's never going to register with them. It's never going to resonate with them, and they will never understand. And that's not my job. My job is to speak to, or my cause is to speak to those who are already enlightened. Okay. Goodness, manliness, um, valor, bravery, courage, excellence, worth, whatever, man. Okay. Or from man. Okay. So let's see. Excellence. Okay. All right. So they have been uh doing this. Oh, look at this: meekness, the virtue of humility, softness, soft of temper, gentle, forbearance, forbearance under injuries or provocation. Okay. So let's just go back to the book. Okay. And see what we can see here. Okay. Um, okay, so distinguished gentlemen. Okay, education and other attainments. And since we are that type of channel, and we're just very curious, anything that has tain or entertain. Um, let's see. Action of acquiring by effort. 1540. Are we in the fifth day in Genesis? In the first chapter. Act of reaching by exertion to come up. Indigenous. Offspring of the earth. The alpha. Okay? To reach, attain, endeavor, strive, sense of which is attained, personal accomplishments. And then we have date from 1670. Okay. Advantage, position of being in advance of another. Advantage. Again, we have that advantage here. Profit, superior, white supremacy, superiority, anything of this matter. And they have their schools and everything to enforce it. Yet we still send our children there, hoping and wishing that they will get this education from these people and take it out of their community and take it to someone else to work for someone else and do these things for someone else. Then there is no, that's just repetitive slavery. It's in another form. It's not building wealth for your family to go on so that you have something to pass down. No. And then what do we do with those even if we are we do find ourselves profiting or getting a lot. What do? Buy these worldly things that are supposed to make you feel better or look better. Okay. Before. Okay. In front of or against. Okay. So let's look at one more while we're here. Am I spelling that right? Okay. Okay. The firmament. For all of those that think that the firmament is talking about some imaginary seal or shield in the sky, shame on you. Really. I mean, I'm just saying. Okay. So, firmament, literally a support, a strengthening, firmus, strong, steadfast, enduring. Okay. To hold firmly, support. Okay. Who has done this? Okay. If we're thinking God did this, you're sure. But are we talking about a figure in the sky, or are we talking about the governing forces in their tricks of the trade that they use on people from birth until death throughout the world to have a sense of power or be a higher up over the original people while putting you at the bottom? You're not even on the pyramid in the caste system. You are the undesirables, the dilete people, or the uh untouchables, or the vermin, the sweet street sweepers or dwellers in ghettos, basically. Okay. And it just seems like these systems mainly include darker view people, which is not about the skin color, it's about who you were. These are probably the children that have been mixed and mingled, and some that are still the people of that original land that have been cast, outcast, or put to the side, or ab-originals, period. Okay? Old Testament, probably literally expanse. That's what it is. Try to go up and rebel against them with all of their artillery and their tools and their weapons and their forces and their militaries and their police forces that they are gearing up with the goods, okay? With the money that you thought you was probably paying taxes and sending in so they can go and defeat people that want to be terrorists and affect us here in America. But nobody, not even in 9/11 in my eyes, has done anything here that is close to anything that we've done anywhere else, honey. So, what are we really talking about here? They have been working up, and this includes all of you now, because now the so-called white man is in slavery with certain things that they've signed up for and signed their children up for throughout these ways. They have gone ahead and put you into slavery as well now. Not to say that you weren't, some of these people that were coming over, or most of them that were coming over here or being sent over here, weren't slaves or some kind of captures or some kind of something in this way prior to. Okay, not to say that, because they were slaves here too. They just don't want to give you the perception of that. They just want it to all fall on the darker view people, because you are the originals, and that is just it. Okay, so firm or solid structure. Okay, a word used both as a vault in the sky. Again, the house of God. Okay. The heaven is just the house of God, a vault in the sky. Okay. And then we look at that triangle that is hovering over the pyramid on the dollar bill with the eye in it, the all-seeing eye. Okay. And the floor of the earth. Again, that is the caste system. Look up the temple or the pyramid scheme in the caste system. This is what we're under. It could be called slavery, a caste system, or other things throughout their world. Okay. But again, the ground that pyramid on the dollar bill is sitting on, with the little roots, the little things sprouting from it, is the earth. The floor of the earth in the Old Testament probably literally expands, or to spread out, meaning to make firm or solid. Again, lift, a man's load, act of lifting. Again, they're going to come up inside of you, and they're going to come up real high and bring you down real low. This is what they've done throughout the years with the things that we fall for. Okay? Home of God. Again, here we go. Heaven, home of God. Why is this a related entry? Do you dig what I'm saying? So a home of God. Earlier, the visible sky. Again, firmament. Okay? Okay? So heaven, sky. Okay? Again, home of God. Period. Earlier. Okay? Okay? So, which is of uncertain and disputed origin. Perhaps it literally means a covering. And this is why you probably think we're talking about something in the sky. But it's really the seal or the covering that covers they asses and puts you. Whew. Heaven, sky, which is of uncertain and disputed origin. Perhaps it means a literal covering, to cover. And that's what they've done. They've covered you with that. Look on your dollar bill again. I'm sure you got one in your wallet or something. And look at the covering. And then look at the caste system. And they sitting it right on top of you. Okay? And this is why sometimes that eye is even hovering over the temple. Okay? Or the pyramid. Okay? So, okay. Which is of uncertain and disputed origin. Okay? To cover. Stone. And here we go with that Freemasonry. Sharp stone, the stony vault of heaven, the stony vault. You know what? Let's just go ahead, because let me read this. The English word is attested from late 14th century. Are we in the fourth day? A heavenly place, a state of bliss. The plural use in a sense of sky, probably from its Platonic, whatever this is, theory of space. Theory of space. Okay? But, and again, if any one of you have been there, please allow me to join you the next time you go. Other than that, everything is theory. They tell you what they want to tell you. You pay them, and they use these tools in order to keep you from your higher self and to do other ridiculous things. How do we know that they're not using these tools to keep some kind of I'm looking into vibration and all this energy and all this 420 and all these hertz and all this stuff. How do we know that they're not using these tools to keep us in a certain state of mind? How do we know this? Okay. How do you know what they're doing? Okay. But also formerly was, used. And even if they were telling the truth about space, what the fuck sense do it make to me? I'm right here on earth trying to live and trying to get, you know what I'm saying? trying to live peacefully in a sense. Why does it matter? Why do I care? And see, that's how they've been able to branch us off. Oh, well, this person can go into this realm. And then that's all they're really going to spend their life doing is researching what's in the sky and all this shit. How can you tell me anything about it when most of the people that is talking about it haven't even been there? I can build a model for you to think something for centuries. That doesn't mean it's true. You can be a brain surgeon all day, but that doesn't mean you know everything about the way that the mind works. They don't even know most of it. They know less about the mind than the expensive amount that is there to be utilized. This is what I'm saying. People just take things and you think because you taken what they said and you regurgitated it, that it means that it's the truth. And it's just sickening. 1640. Then we're going to talk about the ether or the upper regions of space. What's space? The upper pure, bright air. See this shit? The lights. Didn't he say God was going to make a greater light to rule the day and one to rule the night? And you think we talking about nighttime and daytime? Firmament, upper air, again. Sky, heavens, again. We can also be talking about within the body as well. Okay? To burn, shine, to burn. Let's see. Okay, so we don't want to go all in the cosmos, the universe, the world. And then when you look at the term world, it has nothing to do with what you thought it has to do with. Again, you've been taken for a ride. Period. This is why I like etymology. It's not prejudice in that sense. Your dictionary today, the ones that your children are using in school, has been compacted down to the specifics that they want them to think that they know about it, and then they learn how to interpret it, and then they regurgitate it, or they learn how to memorize it, and then they regurgitate it, and then this is what it is, and this is the way of their thinking, and it doesn't go any further. Why can't we have all of these tools in the school when we're learning these terms and these words? You know why. Order, good order, or godly. Funny how God is good with the extra O, and devil is evil without the E. I mean the D. Think about that again. So again, just like they haven't proved anything, everything doesn't have to have some grounded type of proof. If a lot of too many things correlate with something, like if I was going to go ahead and be an investigator or a detective for a crime, it takes a couple of things that are going to be my it's slipping my mind here because I'm going off into something that I'm not supposed to be. But when I'm looking at for evidence, okay, if I have enough circumstantial evidence, do you see what I'm saying? Okay. So again, to dispose, prepare, but especially to order the arrangement of troops for battle. And again, this is a part of the firmament. This is how they were able to lay the foundation or the cornerstone with these things, because these forces were already here prior to your government even being here. And then here comes the establishment, which is the house of God, a government or regime. Okay. This is the one you need to be worried about. Okay, to deck, adorn, equip, and dress. This is what he was doing with the garden. Again, especially women. Okay, now what were they doing with women? And you know, I like to call it woe men in certain instances when we're talking in this Bible, because we are talking about androgynous beings in this book. Period. I'm not going to tell you for sure exactly which. Well, I know when we're talking about Adam and Eve, but in my sense of knowing, okay, that doesn't have to be your sense or your so-called truth. Okay, so again, it goes deeper than you think. Okay. Ornaments of women's dress and decorations and dressings and the hair. And okay. So anyways, Pythagoras, okay, said to be okay. All right. So again, you can, oh, wait a minute. But later extended the whole physical world, including the earth. Again, wait, let's go back. It's said to have been the first to apply this word to the universe, perhaps originally meaning the starry firmament. And again, when we talk about that firmament, don't think that your Hollywood stars, not to say that this is exactly what it's talking about, but from that beginning or the word, they have taken out of it and put idols and taken things and put them in those positions in order for us to not worship, maybe looking into things that have something with the stars, the real so-called stars, or looking for something else. And now we are fascinated with these beings or these idols that you worship in your entertainment industry, so they can enter the mind and obtain or sustain that space there. Okay. Instead of you being able to be a child and be wondrous, you are in school sitting down, getting up to bells and going to lunch and out to the play yard like you're in jail or something. And it's just ridiculous that people just can't see this. But it is later extended to the whole physical world, including the earth. So see, he had not called, he did all this stuff in Genesis 1 and 2, but he had not caused it to rain on the earth. Now that means that the earth was still free. You were still origines, or you were still the sovereign people. Okay. And then they made it rain on you as well. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. For specific reference to the world of people, the classic phrase, he was whatever, okay, the Okiamini, the Okiamini, I don't know, the inhabited earth. The Septuagint, okay, uses both cosmos and this term. I would like to look more into this term here. Okay, also was used in Christian religion, or Christian, which is rarely mentioned in the Bible, and then religious. Okay. Okay. So have they taken your Christos or your Christ consciousness and placed it in a Christian religion in place of it? Okay. So you're looking outside of yourself for what you need, and it's inside. Now, they may have to look outside because they've always had to look to the earth, the originals, for everything that they did before they did it, or they stole it and act like it is theirs. But you do not. You look within, because that is where your temple is. That is how ye are gods. The thing is, everybody is misinterpreting. Everybody is misinterpreting to a certain extent. Especially if you're going with that mainstream, you better get up out of it. You better get up out of it now. Do you understand what I'm saying? As opposed to the afterlife. Okay? So, anyway, we've gone too far with that. This is why I can't get anywhere. Okay? But this is very, this is a lot of information to take in. Okay? So, and if you're over here, I want you to get the full understanding, not just what they want you to think. Period. So they are a growing race to be a race more and more distinguished in virtue, education, and other attainments. Okay. A race aided by sympathized, no, a race aided and sympathized with by all Christianity. That's theirs. Give it back. And by the great supreme being. Wouldn't that be under the same jurisdiction? Why are they saying it like it's separate? Being, okay, will gain too much patriotism, national virtue, and strength of character to be distributed by corruption, okay, egotism, prejudice, and internal wickedness. What is that? I don't know, because if it's internal wickedness to them, then it must be your greatness. It's as simple as that. Now, if it's the internal wickedness of these people, then it is your downfall. It is what they're doing to bring you down. Okay? Justice comes, but rather from the furnace. Okay, I'm thinking fire. Yeah. And crucifixion. I was listening to something like this in the Nag Hammadi about not fire in that sense, but a different type of fire. And crucifixion. And there's a different type of crucifixion, not just the one that so-called Jesus went through, but there's a different type of crucifixion. And you see it going on with so-called celebrities. We can still point it out. And other folks on a daily basis when they're being shot down and gunned down in their own homes and all this other stuff. On a daily basis still. Okay. When thus emerged from the thraldom, that's my first time seeing that word, of Okay, and since it's my first time, let's see. Hmm. Oh, I forgot that. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm kind of in a rush too. Um, uh, 12 or second day. Oh, wait a minute. The late Old English bondman, serf, slave, from Scandinavian source, akin or akin. I see akhenaten. I see akin. Uh, mm, slave, servant, figuratively, a wretch. And see, this is what we call ourselves. This is what the Christian church got you calling yourself, and you wonder why the hell you in the place you in. You better wake up quick. A scoundrel. You uh, literally, runner, to run, a servant, properly, a runner, or yeah, properly, runner, to run, meaning condition of servitude, is from early 14th century. Again, just think, what if it means that they've been here enslaving people and taking people hostage since the 1400s? That sounds about right to me. When thus emerged from the thraldom of darkness. Okay, so what emerged? Justice comes, but rather from the furnace, fire, and crucifixion. When thus emerged from the thraldom of darkness. And again, here we go talking about darkness. And the darkness that we're talking about in the Bible is talking about your ass, or what is close to you would think that the darkness would be. When thus emerged, thou, thou, thus, you, us, the, us, thus, that, those, okay, emerge from the thraldom, and we can, mhm, of darkness in which he has fallen. Now, Adam fell. How did he fall? Did he fall in the way the Bible wants you to think? I mean, the way Christianity wants you to interpret it? Or did he fall because he went in with the darkness? And that's how you die by law, like we just talked about right above here, in which he has fallen. Okay? Now go on ahead, look at the story of Adam, and then maybe go look back at some of the things I have about Adam and Adam, the Adams family. We'll say that. And see how even I just found out that John Quincy Adams was going in heavy for 8 7 8 years trying to fight the fact that they were not hearing the complaints and changing things when it came to the problems that were residing with the so-called Negro. And it just so happens that his great great grandfather, or the first president, John Adams, had a problem with the way that they was dealing with it too before he fell, or they call him the fallen one. So, and then I've done the research. I've done the research. I'm in that direction. It is going to take some real evidence and proof that this God of religion cannot offer to you, no matter how much you ask. Um, you see what I'm saying? So go ahead and take that and believe, and just, oh, you just have to have faith and give it to somebody else. It ain't happening with me. I need to know. Okay. So the brighter her history. Okay. Okay. Darkness in which he has fallen. The brighter her history. Are we talking about her still when we're talking about the colored people or the race? Morally, politically, socially, religiously. This is all the shit. This is everything. These are the indoctrination stations that I speak of. And intellectually, see, because people think they didn't went to college, now that make them smart. Come on now. I think it'll be smart to keep your damn money and invest it in something else that you can actually maybe obtain some wealth, some real wealth with, and not go in hey, people can do what they want. I'm not down talking people that do it, but I'm just saying, what would it be? See, and they'll loan your ass the money and be giving you an unforgiven amount of money. So if you fall or you don't do well or so well or finish, then you're gonna owe that money. And you're gonna owe that money and it can never be forgiven, meaning it'll always be there, haunting you down until you pay it back or they garnish it from your wages. I'd rather start a business and a business plan and you know, go ahead and just take the losses that way. At least you can go ahead and go and get you a damn you know what I'm about to say. And I can't remember it right now. When you go and get a shit. I can't remember. Okay. It's right on the tip of my tongue and I hate that. I mean the masses. Um Okay. So intellectually, I mean the masses. And again, we talk about masses now. People saying what they feed the masses. This is what they need. They don't care about the couple of us that's waking up because they don't think it will ever affect the masses. And the masses are strong and they believe. Oh, they hold on to celebrities and hip hop thinking it's them and all this other foolishness when that shit ain't did nothing but tear our people apart. They hang on to the hood mentality and all this other stuff and brands and being, it just is disgusting, really. At this point, it's whose fault is it? At this point, today, when you can do your own research. Okay. So, not those who are stumbling blocks. And again, I mean the masses, not those who are stumbling blocks in the way of evolution, but those who had walked out in the path of evolution. Intelligent people. Now, what does this mean? Not those who are stumbling blocks. Let's see something. Now, this probably ain't got nothing to do. A probably ain't got nothing to do with B. Let's see. I don't be looking at the okay circumstances when causing difficulty or hesitation. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Stumbling block. Okay. Therefore, let us not judge one another anymore, but rather determine this, not to put the obstacles or stumbling blocks in the brother's way. And it is said, build up, prepare the way, remove every obstacle out of the way of my people. This is one of my favorite books in the text because I feel like it speaks to me and resonates with me differently too. But we preach Christ crucified, to the Jews a stumbling block, and the Gentiles as foolishness. Revelations. But I have a few things against you because you have there some who hold the teachings of Balaam, who kept teaching Balak to put a stumbling block before the sons of Israel, to eat things sacrificed to idols and commit acts of immorality. Okay, you shall not curse a deaf man nor place a stumbling block before the blind. Can you see? But you shall revere your God, your God. So there's a couple of different ones. Just like if Jesus was talking about God when he said, my Father who are in heaven, why the hell you need to tell me he in heaven if you only got one Father and that's the only place he resides, unless you have another daddy somewhere. I am the Lord. For the lips of the priest should preserve knowledge, okay? And men should seek instruction from his mouth, for he is the messenger of the Lord of hosts. Now, who is the Lord of hosts? Now we can go into that, but that's going to take us all the way over. Because the Lord thy God, the Lord your God, the Lord of hosts, the Lord of all, this is all different terminologies, and you have to be able to be deep in that. Okay? Maybe we go into it again. I know I've talked about it already, but Lord of hosts. Okay? But as for you, you have turned aside from the way, you have caused many to stumble by instruction. You have corrupted the covenant of Levi, says the Lord of hosts. Okay? But he turned and said to Peter, "Get behind me, excuse me, Satan. You are a stumbling block to me, for you are not setting your mind on God's interest, but man's." Again, which depends on who we talking about when we talk about man and who we talking about when we talking about God. The Lord God? God? Which one? Because God is not Jesus, no matter what people want to think. It doesn't say it anywhere really in the Bible to me. I haven't found it yet where it resonated to me that way. But religion will help you come to that conclusion, okay? And if Satan is bad to these people that are trying to build a nation on top of a nation and afflict the people, then God is the one that's killing everybody in the Bible and doing the destruction and ordering people to do destruction, then, I'm just wondering. But woe to you, scribes, Pharisees, and hypocrites, because you shut off the kingdom of heaven from people. Who are the people? So who are we? Even when we talk about people, when you talk about people by law, is different than you talking about people in the dictionary. And when we talk about people in etymology, I haven't looked it up yet, but I wonder what we would discover there. For you do not enter in yourselves, nor do you allow those who are entering to go in. Okay. Woe to you, lawyers. For you have taken away the key of knowledge. You yourselves did not enter, and you hindered those who were entering. But take care that liberty of yours does not somehow become a stumbling block to the weak. The one who loves his brother abides in light, and there is no cause for stumbling in him. Son of man, what is this? Son of man, these men have set up their idols in their hearts. Same thing that you're doing today. And have put, even when it comes to Jesus and crosses and Mary and all these other idols and your American idols and so on, and have put there before their faces a stumbling block in their iniquity, should I be consulted by them at all. Okay? Again, let's go back. Okay? So, not those who are stumbling blocks in the way of evolution, but those who have walked out in the path of evolution. Okay? Intelligent people, whether Christian or no, are thoughtful about the closing of one volume of time and opening of another, the quietness of heavenly wisdom. Shh. Secret societies. Illuminati. See? Okay? And inflexible willingness. Flexible willingness to obey present duty should be always before us in our daily walks. Now, is that a walk in the park or the walks of life or your works? Duty is the sublimest word in our language. You cannot do more. The heart should not be in us to do less. We read in the common history of the world, I would think this might say below of the world below. I think it says below. And that's just a random whatever. God created man and woman, and they were called. It's so funny how this is a part that's missing. That's missing from this thing here. And they were called what? I would like to know what that says. Because even if you put called, ED, okay, and then you put add dumb, there's something here. There's something else here before the A and Eve. These two committed a gross sin which something id generations from them to the present time, nar. Oh, and then see how this little piece is folded down? They couldn't just flip that piece back up so we could see what it might have said right here. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna tell you that you can do whenever you see me post something you want to know more about it, and I may not have finished putting information there. You take these two committed a gross sin which, and then you skip, and then you put generations from them to the present time. In a, this might be an R or an N. And then you type that into Google, and you may put something, you may look into books or something like this. And maybe even put the date of this book, or things like this. I don't want to tell all of it because then people will know how we're getting this information and they may not like that. So you can do a couple of things in order to see what this, find out what this had basically said, basically. Okay. So again, I don't know, this is going to be like randomly placed up, but I think this one is long enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this one here. And I will be back soon.